Hi everybody, and happy 7th day of Halloween. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Halloween season so far and doing great on their own 31 movie challenge. So, today's theme was sea creatures. So, let's see what we did. So, today's theme was sea creatures, and I was actually torn between two movies, so we did a double feature. First, we seen the wonderful masterpiece, Sharkenstein. Came out in 2016. IMDb gives it a whopping 2.1 out of 10. It's the final days of World War II and a secret experiment to weaponize sharks is shut down, but 60 years later a town is plagued by a creature built and reanimated. The CGI is so bad. So bad. I mean, you can just literally pick out where the CGI stuff is. It's so bad. It starts out with an actual Frankenstein creature, and then they combine the creature with the shark later on. So I don't know why it said that they're dealing with sharks 60 years before in the synopsis, because they don't really start dealing with sharks, at least what I saw in the movie. They don't start dealing with the sharks until later on in the movie. So I'm not sure why that is in the synopsis. But I'll tell you one thing. Bad CGI Sharks, the movie, its CGI was better than this movie. I mean, Dummy didn't even know Dummy, I think his name was, didn't even know he was cartoony. He was probably better done than this shark. They're teasing a girl about the Loch Ness Monster in the lake, and which I thought that was kind of funny, because I just saw an article last night that they have a sonar in the Loch Ness. I don't remember what they were looking for, if they're just checking depths or if they're actually been looking for Nessie itself, but they actually did find a 30-foot anomaly according to this article I wrote. Now, I don't remember what the source was. I didn't save it, so I don't know if it's like a satire one or if it actually did happen. But this is the second time this year that Nessie's been kind of confirmed, per se. So Nessie's still in play for 2020. Just saying. Don't get your bingo cards put away yet. Where was I? And yes, I do believe in cryptids to a point. I don't think I'm completely Looney Tunes, but there's got to be more than, because a lot of the world is not explored. There's got to be more to it, especially when there's so many sightings. Yes, some are confirmed fake, some are actually fake. People just kind of like follow the legends and like to scare people, or want to become famous. But some I do believe is real. I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube, like a lot of paranormal and cryptid stuff, and like people's actual videos. But back to the movie. There's this one part where there's a bunch of divers. I don't remember why they were in the water, but there was a bunch of divers. I don't know, several of them. And Sharkenstein was picking the divers off one by one. It was showing like blood in the water and everything, and they were fairly close together. But nobody noticed Sharkenstein. He was just able to go and take, which I thought that was kind of ridiculous. And I swear the stitches on the dorsal fin changed a few times. There wasn't even one scene that there was no stitches whatsoever. It actually looked like a felt dorsal fin. It was kind of like they're doing the surgery. But yeah, they wasn't even consistent on the stitches on the dorsal. And apparently it was like several sharks stitched together. So there's that. Then he's also mixed with Frankenstein's monster. apparently you cannot drive a boat in the rain in this movie, which I do not know boat etiquette, but there was somebody going out to check on these other like people in the movie. It was like a kind of like a cop or park ranger or something, and it starts raining. Of course, it's CGI, and he literally parks the boat, goes sits in the back of the boat, and waits for it to stop raining before he keeps going. So apparently you can't drive the boat in imaginary rain, which I don't know if you could drive a boat in rain, but you would think they go in the water, they should be fine. But that's just me. I don't know much about boats. I'm going to get my hair all out of the way. If you come up out of the cove where this all takes place, apparently you stay completely dry. If you're in the water and you come up out of the water, you're just magically completely dry. So that's another thing to this movie. Then lightning hits Sharkenstein because he comes up out of the water, and that completely changes his body type and lung capacity. So there's that. Lightning just completely changes the way he looks whatsoever. And then they leave it open for a possible another one. Which, I'm giving this movie like a 2 out of 10 as well. And even though I like these type of movies, this one was a little too stupid for me. But watch bad CGI sharks instead. If you want to see a stupid shark movie, but be entertained and laugh hysterically, watch bad CGI sharks. Sharkenstein is just horrible. I mean, you can watch it. It's watchable. I was able to finish the whole thing without shutting it off. So this is just ridiculous. Even though it was ridiculous, it just, I wasn't very entertained by this movie. I mean, it was so just I can't even classify it as so bad it's good. It's one of a kind there. And next we saw The Great Alligator. Now this movie was on Prime. Actually, they was both on Prime, and they're both free on Prime right now. The Great Alligator came out in 1979, and IMDb gives it a 4.6 out of 10. It's a tourist resort in Africa attacked by a killer gator, and locals believe it's an incarnation of their native god. And Prime calls it, in the synopsis, calls it a croc, but the title calls it an alligator. We'll get more into that in a minute. About 6 minutes into the film, there is some animal cruelty. They don't actually show, I mean, you kind of could say they show the animal getting hurt, but not getting hurt. It's kind of hard to explain, but the animal does not die. Well, per se on film. You kind of think it does, but it's, I don't know. Unless what I saw at the end of the torture thing was the animal dying and I just didn't realize it. Just be wary when the pig comes out. Just be wary that it might be a little hard to handle. It's not like, it's more torture than killing the animal. The movie calls it crocs because they're in Africa, and their crocs are more native to Africa. At 38 minutes in approximately, there is child nudity. It's very quick, but it's not like sexualized. It's a native tribe that they go to, so it's more trying to reflect how native they are, I think. But just be forewarned, there is some child nudity. It's little boys. It's not in very long, but so it's not sexualized. It's just trying to show like how native this tribe is. Then they go visit this one guy that has built a sculpture of the skull of the animal that he saw when the woman looked at it, which I think some of those movies dubbed because it just didn't quite match some of it. She said that the skull that he crafted looked more like an alligator. I was like, okay, so it is an alligator. Then they go back to talking about crocs. So it's either a hybrid croc gator or it's one or the other. You never really find out. Because she even says in this movie that gators are foreign to the area, which I don't know for a fact, but I do know that crocodiles are more common in Africa. But I don't know if alligators exist in there. I know of them just from Florida and stuff and like Louisiana, but that doesn't mean that they're only there. I just don't know enough about alligators. And I tried to research what was bigger, and I think it said alligators, or I'm getting a visitor. I just got a visitor. But I think it said alligators were really Max. You gotta be the jerk cat. Sorry, he just tried to knock my tablet on the floor. I caught it midair, by the way. I think it said gators are bigger than some croc species, but saltwater crocs are bigger than gators. So take it as that. Maybe they couldn't decide what they wanted. They put it in Africa where they could have it be surrounded by gators, but they also imply this could be not gators, but crocs. But they also imply this could be an alligator. So they never say which one it is, so take your pick. It could be either or. The animal, we'll just call it that, is actually pretty well done. It almost reminds me a little bit, because, Jaws was in the 70s. It almost reminds me that it was kind of taken from that a little bit. Like, they show bits and pieces of it. Some of it, I think, was actually real footage of an alligator or croc, whatever. I can't tell the difference by looking. But some of it looked like real footage taken from that. Some of it, they had a fake animal, but it was really well done. It almost looked, not 100%, but it almost looked realistic. Of course, you could tell it's fake, but because the eyes don't move and it's just the way it goes in the water, you could tell it's fake. But first Wednesday of the month. But anyway, I gave this a 6 out of 10 for its age. And even though it's kind of dubbed and kind of silly, and they're also fighting off the native tribe in this, there's more going on than just the animal. And I thought it was pretty well done for its time period. So I'm giving this a 6 out of 10. And tomorrow is Cannibals. Cannibals is not one of my favorite genres, so I think I've seen pretty much all the ones that I even want to see, but I'll have to look into that one. I might go with Green Inferno. That was one of my favorite ones. So we'll see about that, because I'm definitely not doing Cannibal Holocaust again. That one's a little bit rough. I watched it with Joe Bob a while back, but yeah. It was the more, I think, edited version or something. I don't remember. But yeah. Tomorrow's Cannibals, so we'll have to see what we pick for that. Sorry about the tornado sirens. And like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and see you tomorrow. Happy Halloween. Bye.